Welcome to the Live Wide Open podcast. I'm your host, Randy B. Ramirez, also known as Wide Open Randy, and I'm here to lead you to become the best version of yourself. This show raises the bar for all the motorsport enthusiasts. Holding it wide open is just what we do. Being a good person is who we are, and living our life to the fullest is the lifestyle that we choose. Yo, did you know that the first time that I nail a trick on my motorcycle, it's never truly the first time that I've done it before, right? Like the reason why I'm saying that is because I've already done it in my head multiple times before I actually pull the trick off. I've already done it multiple times with my eyes closed, with my arms twitching, with my heart racing, right? Like just like I'm on the fucking asphalt executing this trick, right? You see, that's the edge that most guys ignore, right? That's the edge that most guys don't lean into, right? And why most guys actually plateau, but not you, my friend, not us, right? You see, the moment that you realize that visualizing, doing it before you actually do it, ties connections in your mind, right? That otherwise would not have happened until you had to take the trick, is the day that you start pulling things off that you're like, yo, hold on, wait. People start looking at you like, yo, how the fuck you get that trick so fast, right? Well, they don't realize that you've actually done that trick multiple times in your mind, right? You see, the other day, the other night actually, right? I was walking with my wife. We were doing exercise. We were going for a 3 mile walk, and we were quiet for a long time. She was on her phone, like doing something, and I was like just kind of zoned out. And since we weren't really talking, she was doing her thing, I was doing I kind of zoned out, right? And we were walking, and then after a while, right? Like I didn't even realize that I was doing it, right? She starts laughing and she looks at me and she's like, yo, were you just practicing stoppies? And I look at her and I was like, yo, how the fuck did you know? Did you know what I was thinking, right? And the reason why she said that is because she caught me in the zone, right? Like I didn't even realize it, but I was there with my hands out, right? And I was kind of had a little posture and I was moving and I was like focused my eyesight up ahead. And I was literally programming myself to the trick, right? I was putting myself in the zone like if it was happening in that moment. And so what I was doing with my mind is I was priming myself to go roll stoppies, right? Because I was going to go roll stoppies. I was doing that like early on in the week at night, and then I was going to go roll stoppies. I went riding on Thursday and I hadn't ridden for a long time. And so I was like, yo, I want to be ready. So I was fucking daydreaming. I was not daydreaming. I was literally practicing these tricks in my mind before I actually went to go execute it on the bike, right? And so I tell you this with humor because, a lot of people are like, oh, this guy's just daydreaming, right? But I'm not daydreaming, right? I'm programming my mind for success. You see, the brain doesn't know the difference between something that you vividly imagine, like if you're there, you feel it, you smell it, you sense it, you like with all your fucking emotions, it doesn't know the difference between that shit that you're imagining and something that is real, right? That's why, like, sometimes you wake up from a dream and you're sweating, you're anxious, like if it had just happened, and because your mind thought that it was actually really happening. You can actually trick your mind to thinking that something is actually really happening, and that is the trick to visualizing. What I'm trying to preach to you today is that if you're a rider, if you're starting, this works in any area of your life, right? But today we're relating it to motorcycles, right? If you want to go and smash some new tricks, then it's to your advantage to visualize it in your mind, execute all the steps like if it was happening, so that when you go and get to the asphalt and actually do it, it happens a lot faster, right? You get it a lot easier. You get it on the first or the second try, right? Same thing happened when I was practicing rev limiter scrapes, right? So many times I practiced that trick in my mind. So many times I pictured myself throwing the bike back, pulling in the clutch, scraping for a while, then hitting the rev limiter and still scraping, and then letting off the rev limiter, and then grabbing back the brake, and then letting go of the clutch and riding back off the wheel. Like so many things that have to happen in order to pull that trick off. That was one of the most, it's actually a very technical trick to pull off, and a lot of guys don't have it in their bag, right? And I went and I pulled it off like second try, right? Because I had practiced it hundreds of fucking times in my mind because I actually went to execute it. You see, the brain fires the same neural pathways during a visualization exercise as it does during the actual performance of the activity, my friend, right? And so you visualizing it and performing it and doing it in your mind right before, or not be way many times before you actually go and execute it, will increase your chance of actually nailing it that first or second time. You see, you can practice without doing it. You can do the reps without doing the risk, without having the risk, right? And then you can build the skill before you even fire up the fucking bike. So why wouldn't you take advantage of this shit, right? You see, so many guys, I talk about this, and they're like, they think it's fake or all this, that. But then they fucking see me like, yo, you haven't rode in fucking months. You haven't rode in weeks, and you come out and you fucking kill the game. I was like, because I spend some time visualizing the things that I want to go do, right? I'm literally doing mental reps, right? The mental reps equals muscle memory before the first attempt, right? And so when I go ride, right, in my mind, I'm like, yo, I've nailed this shit hundreds of times. I've been doing this shit in my mind before actually to go do it on the bike. And so if you've already done it in your mind, my friend, your body is just following instructions. And so I was visualizing stoppies. I was visualizing my posture. I was visualizing shifting and turning it, right? And so that week I went out and I fucking practiced and I pulled a fucking gangster ass stoppie in a sketchy ass zone in a walkway where you're not even supposed to ride, right? And so, and the reason why I was able to execute on that so well was because I had been practicing in my mind how to fucking turn, how to do it, what was the posture. And so when it came game time to actually doing it, I was like, yo, I've done this, I've done this multiple times. I'm not gonna say hundreds, but I've done it for sure fucking more than 10 times, right? And so all that does is that it builds your confidence. You see, visualization builds confidence on command, because what happens is that you're actually doing the task before you're actually doing it. You're putting it in your mind. You're visualizing. You're picturing yourself like doing the thing before you actually do it. You see, you're picturing yourself doing the trick. You have the throttle control. You have your body position. You have your brake timing. You have your posture. You have where you're looking at. You've literally done all this in your mind, and you know exactly how it's gonna go down. So when it actually goes down, and you're out in the field in the asphalt making this shit happen, you're gonna be in the zone. You're gonna be confident. You're gonna be rolling, right? Because confidence doesn't come from hype, my friend. It comes from preparation, right? And visualization is preparation. If you want to nail down a gangster-ass trick, then start visualizing. Start going through the motions. Start thinking about what it takes to nail that down, right? And the same thing goes like off the bike, right? This shit works for anything, but I'm relating it to the bike, right? But it works for anything in your life. For the job interview, for conversations with your wife, for tough decisions, for anything that you want to use in your life. This shit fucking works. Visualize yourself walking through it like you've already been there. And so when the thing happens, it's familiar to your mind. It's familiar to yourself. It's familiar to what you're doing because you've already executed it in your mind before actually you're doing it. You see, confidence isn't magic. It's memory. Even imagined ones, right? Like bro, like I can't stress it enough, and I wish there was a way to actually connect with you and express to you how it actually works. Because when I talk about this, so many people are like, yeah, that's woo woo, yeah, this and that. But confidence isn't a vibe, right? It's a rep you've already done hundreds of times in your head, right? And so when you can actually do this in your mind, when you can put yourself in the zone, when you can visualize what you're gonna go do, right? And you practice and practice and practice, and you get the muscle memory, when you actually go do it, it's familiar to your mind, right? It's not the first time you've ran that play before, right? And so it becomes easier for you to execute it. You see, this is the shortcut to mastery, my friend. But the problem is that most of us will never use it, right? Most of us will just brush it off, right? You see, you ride. I was gonna say something, but whatever. I'm not gonna say that. Most of us will never use it because we take it for granted, right? And when I talk about it with other men, they're like, "Bro, that shit doesn't work. That shit's woo woo. Don't. That shit is whack." But when you go pull off a trick, when you haven't been riding for fucking weeks or months, and they're like, "Yo, how the fuck you keep riding? How the hell you keep leveling up? How the hell you keep fucking coming out?" Gangster as fuck, right? That's really what it boils down to. Because when I ride, everybody's like, yo, damn dog, you were fucking rolling that shit was long, right? But I was rolling like if I had been practicing, when the reality was that I hadn't been practicing physically, but I've been practicing mentally. You see, when you ride at a high level, even without putting the hours that we've been putting in, that I've been putting in, it's all because I rehearsed it at a high level in my mind, right? And so this works for not only writing, but for everything in your life, right? This is how legends in any field perform, right? Top athletes, Navy SEALs, entrepreneurs, fucking go-getters, we all see it, and then we all go fucking do it. We literally rehearse it in our mind before we actually go execute it. See, most guys, they want the fucking hack. But this is the hack. It's not sexy. And the reason why most guys don't go and do it is because it's not sexy, because it's quiet, because it takes you being intentional with what you're thinking, what you're putting on your mind. It takes you being intentional to be prepared, right? And then when you've done it in your head, when nobody's watching, and then you go execute it, right? Your mind connects the pathways of you actually going to go do it, right? And so it becomes easier for you to go execute. This is how you start being a master at your craft, right? You see, mastery starts before the action every single time. So if you can go rehearse it in your mind, you can go through the steps, you can imagine, you can visualize it, you can fucking program yourself to how it's actually going to happen. When you go do it, it's not going to be the first time. You see, your imagination is your most powerful training ground, my friend. Use that shit, or lose it to someone who actually is going to go do it, right? And so my question for you as we wrap up this episode is, what is the next trick that you've been hesitating on, right? And just gonna throw this out there, right? Like maybe for you it's not a trick, right? Maybe for you is you're hesitating something at work, or maybe for you you've been hesitating something in your relationship, or maybe for you something you've been hesitating with your fitness or with your mindset, right? Or but maybe it is something with a trick that you've been writing, right? Maybe it's a corner that you want to go handle with more speed, right? If you're racing, right? But in the context of a motorcycle, right? What is the next trick that you've been hesitating on because you haven't seen yourself nail it down in your mind yet, right? Like something complicated, something that's worthwhile, something that when you go pull off, people will be like, yo, that shit was fucking raw, right? And so what is the next thing that you've been hesitating on? Because you just don't visualize yourself achieving it yet, right? And then my challenge for you is that tonight, right? Tonight, right now, fuck tonight, do it right now after this episode ends, right? I want you to close your eyes, right? And I want you to run the fucking play like if you're actually doing it, right? Like close your eyes, think it through, imagining yourself actually doing this shit. Like what are what are the steps, right? What are the hand controls? What are the movement? What is the body posture? Where does your eyesight need to be, right? Like think about it. Put yourself in the moment, right? Like feel it. Like feel it, hear it, motion it. Like put yourself there. The nerves, the pace, the decision, everything. Do it and watch how you can master that trick so much faster just because you executed in your mind before it happened in real life, my friend. You see, if you can see it clearly, then you can do it confidently, right? And that's what it comes down to, because when you're in your motorcycle or when you're alive doing fucking wild shit that normally you wouldn't do, your confidence is low because you've never done it before. But if you practice in your mind many, many, many times before you actually go do it, then your confidence is going to be clearly up. You see, the trick, the move, that conversation, that hard decision, that life-changing moment, you've got to run it in your mind until your body has no choice but to make it feel right. That's how high performers separate themselves from the fucking pack. That's how builders form operators. That's how warriors form from the watchers. That's how you win before you even fucking show up. So let's get to fucking work. Yo, I'm driving the checkered flag deep into the ground, and I'm calling all the motorsport enthusiasts who want to improve their situation. Let's break free from all the shit that's been holding us back, and let's become the badass motherfuckers that we're meant to be. Breaking the stereotype is exactly what we're here to do. This movement is called Live Your Life Wide Open, and helping others level up is the mission that God has tasked us with. If you still haven't subscribed yet, my brother, it's time to smash that button so you never miss another episode. And if you vibe with today's message, if it resonated with you, right, and you want to help contribute to the growth of this mission, then bro, do me a solid and send this to another gearhead, send this to another motorhead, send this to another man who's fucking working on becoming the better version of themselves, because that right there, my friend, is how we make this community grow. I'll catch up with you on the next episode. But till then, live your life wide open, my friend. Peace.